What's up, everybody? I'm Dreadful Gooz. I'm here at Murder the Mix Studios, and today we're going to be talking about the best guitar pick ever. All right, so I was sitting in my studio today, and I was thinking, man, I like to geek out and talk about guitar stuff with my guitar friends. And one of the things that I like to talk about is guitar picks. Now, there's one pick in particular that I consider to be my go-to, and that's the legendary Jazz 3. Now, there's a bunch of different types of Jazz 3s. You got like the Tortex. You got the other one that I use is the Flex. You got the ones with the grip on them. But at the end of the day, for me, the Jazz 3 is king. And there's been so many times where I've tried to get away from using the Jazz 3. I've even used, what's the ones called? Tusk. They have a teardrop. And I think it's a great pick. I love that they have like different sounds built into it. Like they make different materials. I think one of them is like the white one is supposed to be bright. The gray one is supposed to be like it's a raw sound. And the yellow one is like supposed to be more mellow. And that stuff is great. I love those picks and I used them for a long time. However, every single time I ended up going back to a Jazz 3 and I just couldn't explain it. It's just like the shape of the Jazz 3 is perfect. The size is perfect. I love it and I can't seem to get away from it. The one that I'm using right now is the Jazz 3 1.5. Now with my 7-string that you've seen, the BC Rich, I got it set up to right now on A standard, and I got it from 10 to I think 66 on the low end. And I think this pick helps me cut through everything. Like it just makes all the notes pop out. It makes everything nice and clear, very articulate. And for me, it's all about articulation. So I can't stop but going back to a Jazz 3. I've had different sizes that I've tried of the Jazz 3. I've used like 2 millimeters. I've used 1 millimeter. I've used like the John Petrucci ones. I've used them all, but at the end of the day, I can't escape the Jazz 3. And now, the Jazz 3 for me is not only good for metal, it's good for everything. I think it's good for jazz players. I think it's good for people who like to play extreme metal. I think it's good for people who like to strum and play acoustic stuff. Obviously, I don't expect people to play an acoustic with a 1.5 or a 2 millimeter, but who knows? That might be your thing. That might be what you like. Maybe something like a Jazz 3 in a smaller millimeter, maybe like an 88, maybe even a 1, might be good for that stuff. But at the end of the day, this shape is king. So, I'm mostly known for playing extreme music, and when I'm playing like technical death metal or any type of extreme music, the last thing I want to be worrying about is my pick slipping out of my hand. Especially for guys like me who are the vocalist as well as the guitar player, you really don't have to worry about this slipping out of your hand because it could be a nightmare. Especially if you don't have like one of those little pick holder things that you put on the microphone stands. So I just want to show you guys something that I do to all my picks that help me get the best grip, and they never slip out of my hand. They always feel like they're right where they should be. So let me show you guys. Basically, what I use is this, it's like a Craftsman all-in-one tool. It's called like Craftsman Professional. The cool thing about these things is that they actually have a saw, like they have like a mini saw. Be careful not to cut yourself because these things are super sharp. And what I do is, you don't need all of the pick, in my opinion, when you're playing, especially like extreme music. You want to use as little of the pick as possible so it can kind of just cut through the strings. And so I kind of take it in the midway point, kind of pinch it right there. And I take my saw and make sure, I don't want anyone cutting themselves doing this. If you're going to be doing this, make sure you angle it away from you, not like straight up and down, because if this thing slips, then you're going to slice your finger pretty good. So don't do that. Make sure you angle it, like I said, away from you. And then just, what I do is I start cutting it all the way to the top. And then what I do is I flip it over and I do it this way. It's kind of like an X pattern. And then I do the same thing on the other side. And again, make sure when you're doing this, be careful. Once you've done it enough times, you probably, you'll get the hang of it. And you won't have to worry about cutting yourself. But if you're just starting out doing this, just be careful. Cool. Now you're gonna get a whole bunch of like debris on your saw, so, But once you're done, you'll be able to feel it right away. And it just sticks to your hand. Like, this thing will not move no matter what you're playing. Whether you're playing 7-string, 8-string, 9-string, you have those thick freaking strings. It's not going to move. It's not going to budge. You're playing really fast. Again, it's not going to move. It's not going to budge. In my opinion, it's like the best grip I've ever felt. There's picks that come with like grip already built into them. But I think this is just better. And I actually got this idea from, if I remember correctly, because it was like so long ago that I started doing this. I'm a huge Dimebag fan. And so I read this thing where he used to like kind of do something similar to his picks. He used to like either slash them or like poke holes in them or something like that. So I got the idea from that. Try it out. Let me know if it works for you. It works for me, and some of my friends have done it as well, and they started using this like little thing that I do, and they like it. So let me know what you guys think. Try it out. It really won't cost you much. You get any type of saw or a knife if you want. It'd probably be harder with a knife, but I would say get like a little mini saw and just, start hacking away. And you never know, it might be one of the best things you do with your guitar picks. All right, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if that little pick grip trick of mine worked for you. I'd love to see, some people using it, because I really think it's awesome. And like, again, if you're playing out, it works. It works for me. It's worked for some of my friends. So hopefully it'll work for you. Thank you again so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, follow all my social media links down below. Peace.